Thinking about buying a franchise? Then the How to Buy a Franchise show is just for you. Here's your host, Dr. John Hayes.
I'm John Hayes, host of the How to Buy a Franchise show, and I blog at howtobuyafranchise.com. Welcome. We're going to talk to Terri Harof, the Director of Development.
That is correct.
For Shoneys restaurants. I'm sure you remember Shoneys. I remember Shoneys in Ohio.
Okay.
For strawberry pie.
Still have the strawberry pie and still have locations in Ohio.
Yeah, it was piled high and it was great.
Yep.
Great tasting strawberry pie.
Yep.
Could use some of that right now.
No kidding,
So
me too.
What about Shoneys is one of the few franchises older than me. So I'm happy to see that. Founded in 1947.
Correct.
Been around a long time.
Long time.
And longer than McDonald's even.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do with an old concept to keep it fresh and young and keep people buying a Shoneys and people coming to eat at Shoneys?
Right.
What are you doing to make this work?
Well, if you come, as I say to people who have not been to Shoneys in a while, as this is not your grandma's Shoneys.
Yes.
We have absolutely changed the way we look when you walk. When you see the exterior of the Shoneys, it's contemporary, it's modern, it's got wood on the outside. We have a beautiful patio on the side with retractable windows, so you're able to use it year round.
Great.
The menu has completely been revamped. We have the favorites that people know us and love us by, but we also have new items too. Used to 90% of the people who came into Shoneys came in for the buffet. Now at our newer restaurants, it's about a 50-50 split. So if you're a buffet person, great. We've got a fantastic buffet. If you're more of a order off of the menu person, fantastic. We've got great items for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. And we've also added a full bar component. So if you want to come in for dinner and you want to have a glass of beer or wine, before we made the changes to Shoneys, we probably would not have been your choice at dinner time.
Right.
By adding the bar, we have eliminated that veto vote, and so now people will come to us for dinner, and it's made a big difference in our dinner business.
So that really has made you a more full service.
We are full service. I mean, we're relevant now. We're relevant again. You know, we've been around, like you said, since 1947.
Yes.
People know us. People love us. Everywhere we go, people have got a Shoney story. They used to go to Shoney's every Sunday after church or on the way to Florida or whatever. So it's a nostalgic brand. People love to talk about it. Yeah. But now we've given them a reason to come back and come back on a regular basis.
Good. So how many Shoneys locations are there?
We have 156 locations in 16 states.
And how many franchisees?
1/3 are company store, 2/3 are franchises.
Okay. And do they only own one Shoneys, or can you own 3 or 4 or 5?
Our largest franchisee is in the Knoxville market, and they have 19.
Okay, great. So multi-unit, which is very popular nowadays in franchising, makes sense for somebody who's really committed to the restaurant industry and wants to be in that niche in franchising.
Well, once you go through our training program, I mean, you're going to learn everything that you need to know about the business and about the Shoneys business. Once you master that, it's easy to then open a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth location.
Yes.
But we are a very patient franchisor. We want you to walk before you run. If you're successful, we're successful. So we don't want you to get too big too fast, especially if you haven't really been in the restaurant business before.
Exactly. So what are the complications here? One must be money. It's not inexpensive to open a Shoneys.
Well, the first thing I tell people because I have people who reach out to me from all over the world. The first thing I tell them is you've got to be passionate about the people business, because this is the people business, and the restaurant business is not the easiest business. You got to be passionate about the restaurant business. We don't want you to just be an owner. We want you to be an owner-operator in the fact that we want you to be involved. It's great if you live in the community and are involved in the community, because that's a great way to invite the community into your restaurant. Mm-hmm. So yes, you've got to be passionate about serving people and about the industry. This is not a rocket science business, and in that, if you keep your restaurant clean, if you make good food, if you serve your guests well, and if you hire smart and do the things that you've got to do to retain good people, it makes the business pretty easy, quite
now,
honestly.
What about the financial investment? What's it cost today?
So what you're looking at, there's a $35,000 franchise fee.
Yes.
In terms of royalties, you're going to pay a 4% royalty, and you're going to pay 2.75% for the marketing. So you're looking at 6.75%.
Yes.
There's lots of ways to get into the business. You can buy real estate and build from the ground up. You can do conversions. If say there was a restaurant in your town that, for whatever reason, it was not operated the way it should have been, and it's available, you could convert a restaurant. Sometimes there are franchisees who may be selling, so there may be a restaurant available that way. So there's different ways to get into the business.
And typically, what will people invest beyond the franchise fee and the build out of a restaurant?
The build out. The average build out's about between $150 and $170 per square foot is what you're looking at. It varies based on where you're building and everything else. But
financing is available for those kinds of investments.
Absolutely.
And so do you get involved in the financing, or do you...
We've got preferred vendors that we work with that are very, very comfortable in the franchise restaurant business, and so we definitely have preferred vendors. But we also have operators who own other franchises, are wanting to expand,
diversify their
absolutely
their holdings,
and they already have people that they work with, which that's fine too.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think is as franchisees on a day-to-day basis? What's the number one or two problems that they run into? What are you going to face that, if you could solve it, you would love to solve this problem?
Well, the most important thing in this business is hiring smart, hiring well, taking the time to really get to know these people, because once you hire them, then you spend all the time and money to train them. You don't want to lose that. You want to hire well, and then don't be the cheapest person on the block who pays the least, because you get what you pay for, quite honestly. Pay a little bit more, have an incentive program where if they really go above and beyond, they can make more money, and if they make more money, you're going to make more money.
Yes.
We've got franchisees who have had managers who've worked for them for more than a decade, and that's because they hired well, they trained well, and then they took care of their employees, who then took care of them.
Is marketing an issue for Shoneys, or is that handled by your national fund and they have local marketing as well?
We do both. So yes, we have national advertising. And marketing, of course, marketing is always an issue in that you've got to be smart with the dollars that you spend. You don't want to take the shotgun approach and just throw it out there and hope it sticks. You want to be very strategic in your marketing, and you want to stand out. If you're going to do something, you want to stand out. I love experiential marketing. Doing marketing that it's going to get people into Shoneys, where they're going to experience Shoneys, or an event or something where we can take Shoneys to them, where they can experience and say, "Wow, that's Shoneys! I didn't know you had this," or "You guys have a bar now? Wow!" I mean, so that's kind of what we look for in terms of opportunities. And then the franchisees need to spend 1% of their sales on their own local store marketing.
Okay. And it was always a very family-oriented business, a Shoneys.
Sure.
Has the bar changed that in any way?
You know what? It hasn't. We are not you're not going to go to Shoneys and spend the night doing shots. That's not who we are. That's not what we are. That's not what we want to be. What we want to be is we want to be a restaurant that if you want to have a glass of wine with dinner or have a beer with dinner, you can. And Ruby Tuesdays and a lot of the other restaurants that are out there, they've always done that. They've always had families. Yeah. So I think initially people were a little surprised that Shoney's, offered a bar. But I think, but now they're like, wow, they're not upset about it. They're excited about it.
Good.
Quite honestly.
And you said, did you mention how long the training is and where it occurs? How do you go through that?
So we've got training restaurants, approved training restaurants throughout the brand. So based on, where the franchisees located, we're going to try to do something that's closer to them, of course. Your training program is going to be 7 weeks. It's a 7-week training program.
Wow.
And then we have something called FBCs, which are our franchise business consultants. They are there with you every step of the way. So we're going to look at your business, we're going to look at your sales, we're going to look at your labor costs, we're going to look at your food costs, and we're going to say, hey, that's a little bit too high. We need to look at the business model. Or we're going to say, wow, your food costs are amazing. What are you doing? Because we want to share this with the rest of the franchisees.
Yeah. So 7 weeks is a long training program. And is it all in one place, the 7 weeks?
No. And it doesn't have to necessarily take place all at one time either.
Okay.
So we will work with the franchisee, and there's a little bit of wiggle room on that. If you've got a franchisee who has got a tremendous amount of experience and that length of training isn't necessary for them. Mm-hmm. But also we have a training program for their managers, because we want to make sure their managers are ready to roll.
Yeah, and then the FBCs are franchise business
consultants. Yes,
they're corporate employees.
Yes, they are.
Covered by my royalties, or
correct.
Covered by my franchise fee. And then how often do you get your franchisees together during the year
Quarterly.
for quarterly programs?
Quarterly programs, yes.
And is it mandatory to attend those programs?
It's not mandatory, but we really
recommend
want you to come.
And the top operators are probably there.
Yep. And it's very beneficial. We always, we have different speakers who come in. We'll have, we do limited LTOs, limited time offers. Our executive Chef Eric, is fantastic. He'll present some different items that we're looking at bringing in to test before we put them on the menu. So it's beneficial for them to be there. They're going to learn.
And does Shoneys have an item 19 in your disclosure document?
We do.
Very good. So that helps you with sales as well. How many are you going to sell in 2017?
I think we're going to sell. We'll probably sell 15.
15 new
franchisees.
Franchises.
Yes.
And then how many did you sell this past year in 2016?
In 2016, we sold 6.
Okay, good. So 15 is going to more than almost triples.
Well, we've got things in the pipeline and we've got some multi-unit deals that we're working on.
Very good.
So it's an exciting time to be with the brand for sure.
Well, Terri, it's been a pleasure talking to you about Shoneys, one of my favorite places to eat strawberry pie, particularly. Shoneys has been our topic, and if you love the restaurant business and you're looking for a good opportunity, particularly one that's been around and proven itself year after year after year since 1947, take a look at Shoneys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm John Hayes with How to Buy a Franchise Show.
Thank you for listening to How to Buy a Franchise Show. If you want immediate assistance, visit howtobuyafranchise.com to contact Dr. John Hayes for a free consultation.